October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and now in its 20th year, it encourages public and private sectors to work together to enhance cybersecurity awareness.
It reminds people to take simple actions to reduce risk online, and it generates discussions on national and global cyber threats. And we talked to KITV4's tech expert Ryan Ozawa for some tips as well.
Hi, Ryan Ozawa. Tell us a little bit more about October Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Well, it's hard to believe, but this was declared in October of 2004. That was before YouTube, before Twitter, before Netflix got off DVDs. So if we thought that we were concerned with being online back then, it's not a surprise to hear that cybersecurity is a 10 times, 100 times bigger concern than it is, than it is today.
What are your biggest tips for consumers?
Well, it seems like coming on and saying don't use the same password on multiple services gets a little boring after a while. And frankly, that is still like using the same key for everything in your life, from your bike lock to your house to your safe at a bank. But we are now entering a post-password world, and I think that's the most exciting part. Before, you had to definitely keep a combination of a username and a password for different services, but now we're getting into pass keys. These are completely without having to remember anything and based purely on your device. And the interesting thing is a lot of people are using passkeys already with their banks or with their medical apps, where it just says, would you like to use Face ID or Touch ID to connect to this service? That's what it's using, because you don't need to type anything. As soon as it knows that it's you and you're using the same device, it says it's okay.
I've also noticed two-step authenticators are very common now.
Yeah, two-step authentication is very important, and it's something that you should do. And the interesting thing about passkeys is that's exactly what it is. It's using your device, your computer on Windows 11 or Mac OS, or your phone, Android or iOS, as that second factor. The fact of the matter is, on very sensitive accounts, when it uses your text messages as the second factor, that's also a way that criminals have been able to steal accounts, by stealing your phone number.
Oh, that's a little scary.
Yes.
For those who do still use a password, though, do you recommend, like when Google helpfully offers to store the passwords for you, or do you recommend a separate app as a password manager?
It would certainly depend on how much you trust the services that ask to save your passwords. I would use a separate password manager, and 1Password is probably the most well-known. There are family plans you can share with your kids, so you can give them just the passwords to the HBO Max and the Disney streaming, and it comes up with different passwords for every services that you don't have to remember. And that's really, again, the most important part.
Okay. And then lastly, are there any really big scams or threats that are new and different that we should be aware of?
Since the beginning of cybersecurity, it's been about phishing and emails pretending to be from other people. You probably don't need me to beat on that drum much more, but just to put it in perspective, the MGM Hotel in Las Vegas, I'm sure many of our Hawaii fans are know the place. They just had a cybersecurity incident. It lost them $100 million plus $10 million to clean up their systems. So we're looking at a kind of crime that costs $15 million a year or $50 billion a year around the world. And that's basically how serious this is. So don't think it's just about you and your secret shopping list. Unfortunately, it's affecting businesses and governments all around the world.
All right, good advice, information to get us thinking. Thank you so much, Ryan Ozawa, KITV4 tech expert.
And because of Ryan, I am now going to sign up for that password manager that he said, 1Password. Because it is all about my secret shopping list. I don't want you to see it. Senior